We're going to do an assembly on a '07 Street Glide with a FL harness. Once you get the seat off, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rear tank bolt loose. Turn your wheel a little bit so your ignition switch is out of the way of the tank. Lift the rear of your tank and slide a wedge up underneath of there. I've made this one. You could use a screwdriver handle, just anything to hold that up at this point. You want to take your battery connections loose. And once you get your harness, pull it out for a little bit. It'll be coiled up, it'll be stiff. You may have to set it in the sun for a little bit to warm it up. Depending on what the temperature is, where you live. Get it straight and let it lay right across the bike right here. One terminal at a time. The red wire with the fuse block to your positive side of your battery. Untangle your harness so you don't have a big twisted ball of wires when you're done and ready to coil everything up and make it neat at the end. There's several places you can ground this harness. You can use the terminal on the battery, or right down in here there's two grounding studs. There's a grounding stud here also you ground to. You don't have to use the battery. Push your wire down around the side of the battery so it's not sticking up top. And secure your terminals again. On the FL models with this harness, it comes already equipped with a Harley Deutsch connector. If you look down in the front of your battery, the factory provides you with an accessory port already there. Work it back from under the cross member of the frame and you can pull it up right here. It's got a rubber weather cap installed in it. We're just going to unplug it and plug our harness into it and push it back down in front of the battery again. Now this allows you to use blank accessory switch as your on-off for your Motolights. Once you get to this point, the harness is pretty much secured. What we're going to do is we're going to run it up under the tank and get it run up under the triple tree, and we'll move to the front of the bike and install the lights and show you how they come up and plug into your harness. Okay, once you get down here, sit down so you can see what's going on up in here. You want to pull your harness out so your end leads make it up behind your headlight cover. You want to have enough slack in the back here to be able to put this down in between the frame and tie it down. When you come through, remember the tank is propped up right now. Come through here, make sure you're behind your fuel line, over top of your engine mount, between the fuel return or crossover tube. Then on this particular model here with the coil mounted, you come through the coil mounting bracket and your harness will come out right underneath of it and then go behind the clutch cable. On different models will be depending on what you do here. The newer models, this bracket isn't here. The cable, the harness actually slides up behind this ear, and there's another factory harness that goes right here. It's real easy to blend it in with it. Just come up either way. Let's say it's different models or a little bit different when you get to this point. Some of the Ultras will have a chrome guard. You have to remove it to get the wires up through to attach leads. But in all, this is the general way that you want the harness to run. When you get back here to the back again, now that you're ready to let your tank down, push your wire up with your hand. You can feel it in there. And when you get right back here around behind where the fuel line attaches, you put that wire right up against the frame, pull your wedge out, let the tank settle back down on top of it, Okay, your harness will come out here. We have all our connections made. We can plug the fuel overflow back in. We can take this, make a neat coil out of it. Something that's easy to work with. Wire tie. Put your wires in a nice coil here. You want to attach everything to secure it to the bike somehow now. We'll take a large wire tie and you can slide it underneath of this factory cover, and you only have to grab a couple of their wires. Okay, now everything's tight, secure, and it won't go anywhere. Some people are fanatics about their motorcycles and keep them clean, others are not. One thing you want to do with this relay though is when you put it back down in the frame here, you want to turn it so it is laying either sideways or up like this. That way, you get caught in the rain, you wash your bike, water hits it, it runs over it. You turn it this way, water goes in, it settles in it. Turn it down, get it in there. There you go. The back half of the harness is in. We can put our tank bolt back in. Now, we're ready for the front installation. Okay. For mounting the light, I've already got the top boss bolt loose. We're going to pull it the rest of the way out. A little bit of never seize. On your threads. Second place, we're going to put some right around the base of the shoulder of that bolt. What this does, putting it up there, is your mechanic is going to appreciate it when he has to change the brakes on your bike and this thing turns nice and free in there. Flip your lock washer on. Put your bolt into your caliper mount. And then we'll run that up. You want this to come up just below 45 degrees or 90 degrees. You want the pinch bolt at the bottom, help with any water drainage. On this particular motorcycle, the bolt torque for this bolt is 38 pounds. I've already got the wrench set for it. Now, same important what you never sees again. Aluminum galls, very bad on aluminum to aluminum. But never sees around the base of the light. To get your wire to come through, remove this Allen screw out of the back of the mount. There's a split in the casing of the wire down here that goes through the grooves. And then feed your wire through. Okay. Put your screw back in. And then just for now, just snug it up where the light's secure in the bracket. Okay, it won't fall out there. We can still move it a little bit. Feel behind here, and the rubber, this rubber tab, you should feel it come out flush or beyond, just beyond the back of the mount. That lets you know that you're aligned, and when you squeeze this down now, you're going to get a tight water seal around here. Once you get to here, grab you a handful of wire ties. Run your wire behind your brake line and start securing your lead up the brake line. Go about every 6 inches or so. Alright, Now we move to the other side. We're going to repeat the exact same steps as far as mounting the light itself goes. Alright, now when we get to here, remember where you mounted the one on the other side, what angle it's sitting off the fork slider at. Alright, once you get both of your leads up off your lights, the one from the right side, you're going to cross across the front of your brake line here and meet with the other one. Then there's a gap between the triple tree and the back of the headlight housing. Both of your leads will come out here. They'll come again on the inside of your clutch cable. Make your connections. Now, to hold these up out of the weather, what you have to do is you can attach right to the clutch cable, put them up nice and high in there. You'll never see them, and they'll be secure and hidden from the elements. Any of your leftover zip tie ends, trim them off, and if all goes well and you've done everything correctly, when you turn your switch on, put that over the bezel of your lens or your light. There's two ways to do it. Use a dial indicator, or if you don't have one, a standard 6-inch carpenter's bubble level will work. Put your gauge on here. You want to turn this to where you're right at 0. Take your Allen key, that's it, you're done.